We're gonna transform in 2024 and level up every area of our lives, physical to mental. We won't even recognize ourselves by the end of the year.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
This is part 2 of Level Up Your 2024. I did a part 1 and it's like 2 videos down from here. I'm gonna link it down in the description if you haven't watched it. It doesn't really connect, but both gives advice and just like different. The other one is just really more habits. This one is like more of what we can balance in our life. And this is kind of like your guide, our guide of what helped me transform my life like the past couple of years, and something that could help you. If you're in some type of transition or you need some change in your life or anything like that, I feel like this video is so important. If you don't know, I majored in exercise science and I feel like I'm qualified to talk about this because in every single year, freshman year to senior year, I've had a class where we talked about the 7 areas of wellness. Basically what those are: your physical, mental, emotional, intellectual, social, spiritual, environmental, and occupational, which is like career. We as humans need to balance that. Obviously not all of it at the same time, and you don't need to do that at the same time. But for me, what I did was like kind of wrote down each section. So like in my journal, I would write like physical, mental, emotional, career, financial, and then I kind of just look at it and be like, where am I in this? On a scale of 1 to 10, what do I need to work on? And then you really see where you're at, like in your life, just by writing those things down. And it's so important to me to keep this balanced. And obviously, this is life. We're not always gonna keep it balanced, but we could try, you know what I mean? During our time on earth, obviously there's a time that it will end. Why not live the best? And when you give attention and put effort to all this 7 areas, you're intentional with every single part of this area, you see growth, you see yourself changing. Whenever you're down or something just doesn't feel right or your life is just going like everywhere, if you kind of put those in categories, you can see what you need to work on. You can see what's going left. I feel like to live a fulfilled and balanced life, these 7 areas need to be balanced. So let's get started. The first is physical. Physical is obviously what we have on the outer. Health is wealth. I've seen that this year. Just a couple of my family members, just this year I really found out that a lot of people like my generation, like my family line, medical, not that great. So I have to take care of myself, and I just feel like now that I know this information, moving on forward, I'll take care of myself, eat different, exercise more. And this year I made exercise my priority. Let me tell you one thing, this year the one thing that has not changed is God and exercise. Nothing has been able to break that. I feel stronger, I feel like my heart is stronger. I do need to do more cardio though, let me be honest. That's just my experience. But for you, like, how are you feeling? What's your physical state? Are you happy with where you're at? Physique, and also like how you feel. What you eat is how you really feel. So is it balanced? That's one thing I'll ask. Do you need to work on your diet? Do you need to do more exercise? Is there like, you know, in your family line, is there something that's just a health thing that's, you can break that generational health, that thing that's been going down the line, you could break that. And it could be you that's just changing, really being intentional about your health, what you eat, how you do some movements. Also, one thing I learned in my undergrad is sedentary behavior, which means sitting down for a long time or also standing up. Sedentary means you're not moving. So if you actually sit 7 hours or more every day, like an average, if you do that, it's actually like equivalent to smoking cigarettes. And it's called a silent killer, which is like sedentary behavior. You're sitting down the whole time, you're on the couch, on your phone, you're not really paying attention. Also, if you work from home, like just every single hour, kind of get up, move around, sit back down, make sure your blood is moving. It could cause blood clots. Get some movements, change some diets. Also, like even for your physique, if you have some type of goal, go in the gym, lift, have a certain time, certain day for certain muscle groups. That's what I did. But then second half of the year, I'm like, I just want to do this for my health. There's just a lot going on. I'm like, I just don't want to risk anything as I'm getting older. So I kind of switched from physique to health. So it's more like for my heart health. When you focus on that, let me tell you, you start seeing a change. When you switch that mindset, you really start seeing a difference. The next thing I say, I have a bunch of videos on this if you really want like a focus, but hygiene. Take care of your hygiene. Make sure you smell good. You take care of your hair. You have some type of routine, your oral health. And if you do want to see those type of videos, I have a lot on my channel where I talk specifically about shower or hygiene or anything. But you already know, hygiene is important to me. Have a routine, especially especially for your skin. If I don't keep up with that, then that's when my skin starts breaking out. So have some type of routine. Also, if you have sensitive skin, I have sensitive skin, really have that routine. Set that. Make sure you wear your sunscreen. If you do have sensitive skin, I have sensitive skin, and whenever the colder weather comes, it just becomes extra dry. So this Mary&May skincare brand is perfect for sensitive skin. They put skin safety first. It's also vegan. I first go in with the low pH hyaluronic gel cleanser. And if you know, I love hyaluronic acid. I feel like that's the one thing that really brings the moisture back to my skin. And also, whenever my skin feels extra dry or I'm breaking out, hyaluronic acid is the #1 thing that really gets my skin back up. The next step for the sensitive skincare kit is the Moisturizing and Nourishing Care Vegan Blackberry Complex Cream Essence. And this is just supposed to nourish and moisturize dry skin. Then it's the Idebenone plus Blackberry Complex Serum, and this helps the appearance of the skin and elasticity. Then that pairs with the Idebenone Blackberry Intensive Cream, and this protects and nourishes our skin barrier, especially for us who have sensitive skin. I've been trying to get into more Korean skincare brands because I just feel like their ingredients is clean, safe, especially for me since I have sensitive skin, and I'm not like just testing out anything, and I can actually read what's on the bottle, which helps me feel better knowing what I put on my skin. Then I go in with the eye cream, and this helps with wrinkle care and dark spots. I personally struggle with dark under eyes, and this product contains tranexamic acid, which helps with skin pigmented cells. So you know I had to put extra to help my dark circles. Then I finish off with my favorite product from this whole kit. It's the vegan Peptide Bakuchiol Sun Stick, which is a sunscreen with 50 SPF, and I love how compact it is, so I could just put it in my bag and reapply it throughout the day. And I always talk about how sunscreen is so important, and to just reapply it throughout the day. Wear it every single day, even though the sun's not out. We still need to wear sunscreen to protect our skin from sun damage, aging, and I also put it on my neck and chest, just anywhere where the sun might be exposed to it. I also put it on my hands since I get my nails done a lot. Try to protect that too, so I started putting it on every single day. After using the sensitive skin kit, my skin did not feel irritated, and I just feel better knowing what I put on my skin. My skin definitely felt moisturized, and it lasted throughout the day. So my skin felt moisturized and protected. So build a skincare routine that works for you, and even ask a professional if you need to, so that you can get your skincare set. And so take care of your physical health, exercise, diet, your hygiene, how you look, just your appearance for you. You can't wake up every day having that, you know, like, I'll just go on, let the day go by. But like, take in that day, take care of yourself, do what you can to live to the fullest. Next is mental. How's your mental state right now? So how do you view yourself and your life? That's basically with mental and emotional. Learn to accept who you are. And another thing I'll say is with this comes comparison, and I feel like a lot of things, like especially since social media has been a big thing, I feel like comparison is what really affects our mental health. It's like, why do they have this? Why don't I have it? Or it's like, oh, I want that body or this hair, or almost like we're putting ourselves down because we see other people. I've heard this a bunch of times. We've seen it. Social media stories is basically a highlight of everyone's life. I can even say for me, I would never show something that's like going really bad in my life. It's like everybody else just wants to see happy things. So when it's all in one location, it just makes you think you're not having like a good life. Comparison is a thief of joy. So be careful with what you watch, what you listen to, who you surround yourself with. I feel like that really gets to us and our mental health. Sometimes we forget how powerful our brain is. So whatever we say, whatever we speak, whatever we listen to, whatever we speak is as powerful as whatever comes in. Whatever comes in, comes out. Whatever you watch, whatever you listen to, everything just kind of comes out. Whatever you speak, the power of the tongue, remember that. That's what's really gonna change things. So if you want your life to be better, you speak with what you want. Almost think about yourself, not in obviously in a humble way, but almost like, God created me. This is who I am. I'm precious to God. I'm a gem. And so for emotional health, we need to balance that, because sometimes we make decisions based off of our emotions and not logic. And so these past months I've been praying. One of my prayers is, God, help me make decisions with logic and not emotions. Because when you do that, it goes left. We're not thinking. We're only thinking with, I guess, you know, people say you think with your heart. Basically, you do that. And then later on you regret it because you're like, oh wait, you come out of that situation, you see it from far and you're like, why did I do that? I've done that so many times. And so I've been praying for that, and I've seen the Holy Spirit work. He guides me through that, and he's like, hey, is this logic, or are you just doing it because you're feeling some type of way? If we really practice and get our emotional health to like balance, and some of the ways we can, and some of the ways I do it is, first of all, journal. And if you don't even know how to do that, the best way to journal is at the end of your day, just write down what you did. Nothing attached, feel, but if just write down, I went here, I met with this person, this. As you do it more, it kind of becomes like a habit where you're like, I felt kind of off talking to this person. Yeah, I went throughout this day, I felt some type of like, but I didn't know what it was. Once you write it down and read it back to yourself, that's when you're like, oh, this makes sense. It's almost like you're reading a book, but you're reading your brain. What is in my brain? And so journaling is a way to do that. And I know a lot of people are like, I don't know where to start, because I was like that. And I just started writing my day. And then once I did that like for a couple months, I'm like, why don't I just make it a prayer? So I just kept writing it almost like to God. Don't always be in your head. Don't overthink things. Like some things are just literally, things is not what it seems. And a lot of things that like affect our mental health is hormones. So make sure your hormones are balanced. A couple things I take, I'm not saying you should take it. Obviously ask a doctor and just like make sure everything is good for you to take it. But I take sea moss, has 92 minerals of the 103 we need. Once I started taking that, I just felt this difference. My energy was up. It helped me. Another thing I take is probiotics, and I get mine from Trader Joe's. And probiotic is really good for our gut health, like just us reproductive system. Everything down there. Our gut is our second brain. Do you see how everything kind of like intertwines together? Also sleep. Sleep is so important. When our brain is tired, we don't think straight. Our decision making thing goes out the window. Sleep balances everything. It helps us grow. It helps our skin, our body, how we function throughout the day, everything. Sleep is such an important thing, especially for our mental health. So like staying up, scrolling late, it's just not gonna help us. In the book Atomic Habits, you kind of have to identify yourself. So I'm like, I go to bed early. Even if it's not, you gotta convince yourself like, I go to bed early. I am getting better. I am building good habits. So let's take care of our mental health. Next is environmental. How's your environment and also the people you surround yourself with? How's your area and wellness of your house, your room, your space? Is it a space that's thriving? Is it a space that's helping you? Is it a space that you need to leave? Is it a space when you get in, you're like, I love this. This is like, especially my room, I try to make it like that, where I come inside my room and I'm like, I love this. I could just relax. I did renovation back in October where I redid this whole room and even changed, I didn't change it, I hired people, but changed carpet to wood. I just felt like that made everything lighter. Changed up the whole thing where like I envisioned it, where I think of like, oh, this is a peaceful space. I wanted it like that. We all deserve to have a safe and thriving environment. So wherever you're in, if you don't feel that, strive for change, do something about it. And I feel like staying in a place where it's not benefiting you is not gonna help you at all. And I know a lot of people say how like immigrant households is just not the best for mental health. And I see that in some ways too. And I hope for those that just are not able to move out right now, or it's just harder to leave the situation you're in, I hope you could find space and peace with what you can, where the area that you're in right now. But if you're able to, just strive to and work on it. Work on leaving that situation. Create a safe space for yourself, but also for others. So when someone's talking to you, just practice being a comforting person. If it's someone new and you're talking to them, just have this comforting spirit. I feel like anytime I think of this, I think of Tim Ross. If you guys listen to the Basement podcast, when I say he's the face of comforting person, like every guest he has, he just always makes them feel welcome. And I really admire him. And I'm really learning from him just different things he does. Like from the small actions of like him nodding, he really listens. Like his listening skills, I strive to have because I get distracted a lot, especially with others. And so like picking up my phone in the middle of them talking, or just like being like, but like not really responding and engaging. I feel like other people just feel uncomfortable. Also, it's common courtesy to just like listen to others, engage in conversation, ask them how they are. If they ask you, there's small things we can do to help others. Like, oh my goodness, you're such a nice person. Like, I love feeling good talking to her, him. It's so rewarding knowing that others people like come to my channel and like the comments, especially that's like, oh, I was having a hard day and I watched this, help me feel better. You know how rewarding that is? It's like I'm creating a safe space, a safe channel, a safe video for you is beyond, like, it's the most rewarding thing ever. So create a safe space for people you meet. It could be a new coworker, like just a person that doesn't really know anyone. Be the person to be like, hey, like, are you new? This is what we do. Like, if you need anything, you could come ask me a question. The last thing about environment is take care of this earth. God gave us dominion over this earth. That means for us to take care of it. God said, here, I gave you this earth. Please take care of it. So in whatever you can. I know people recycle, people pick up trash whenever they see, random ones, like even in public. The people that do that, do you know the humbleness and like the care they have for this world? Like, I just love that. Also, take care of your home. I always say this, but stewardship, I always talk about this. It's my favorite topic because I just love the topic. I've seen it in my life. You take care of your space, you get a bigger space. My room is the size of 2 closets, maybe the size of a closet for some people. And I take care of it because I know that whatever God has in store for me, if I take care of it here, he'll bless me with more. And it's not like I'll take care of this to expect more, but that's God's promise. It's like, take stewardship. Whatever car you have right now, clean it. But take care of your space, your possessions, and just take care of your environment. Next is financial. Listen, I'm still working on it, but whatever you do with your money now will be the same when you have more money. When you're striving to have like that career that'll give you the life that you want, it's gonna reflect the same thing when you have that life. How's your finances? Do you need to change your job? Do you not like the job you're in? Or are you thriving and it's the time that you're just getting the finance that you want, but you're not managing your money? I'm not the best person to speak about this, but I'm learning. And let me say, in the past couple of months, I've been working, I've been building good financial habits, and I've been seeing such a difference. What a story on my experience. Last year for taxes, I knew you had to save for taxes. Save 30% for your taxes. I knew you had to do that. But I was irresponsible, spent, and took the money out of my bank account, and I did not have enough money for taxes left. And I hear about the story so many times. It's like, I know it. I know so many celebrities that this happened to, so many content creators. Why didn't I learn from them? A couple weeks before taxes, my manager tells me, hey, taxes are coming up. I was like, what do I do? God was like, I'll give you grace on this one, but you have to fix your financial management. You have to fix your money management. And so I was like, God, please help me with this. He gave me grace and mercy because I had a brand deal that was not even supposed to pay me until after taxes, and they paid me early, and that was literally the exact amount I needed. And so I was like, I need to fix this. I'm not gonna be running around for taxes the next time taxes roll around. So I was like, I need to fix stuff. So I literally sat down, wrote down, my friend actually helped me with that. Pick a friend you trust because you just never know with your financial situation when money comes into the circle. Sometimes it just goes left. That's the word of the day, left. I'm tempted to touch the money that I'm not supposed to touch because I'll say it's in savings and then I take it out of my savings. So I was like, what could I do? So what I did was I opened a high yield savings account. Basically what that is I use Marcus Goldman. It's an app, and basically you put it in there and it grows your money for you. But you do have to pay taxes on it. That's like the catch. Because you're like, oh, what's the catch? Like they're just gonna help me grow money. Basically, how that happens is when the economy is going up and down, the prices of things are going higher or lower. Based on that, you have a percentage of how much money they give you back. So as long as you keep that in your account throughout the month, it's just growing for you. So I'm like, I think that's the best thing instead of just opening a regular savings account. I opened that, and then I had like categories. So I had Christmas, vacation, taxes, savings. I don't have a regular paycheck, so it's like some months I don't get paid for 2 months. Sometimes I get paid 10 times a month. Every time I got a paycheck, I can't do like an automatic taking out of my money. So what I did was, okay, I'm gonna put this much on Christmas. I'm gonna put this much for vacation. I'm gonna put this much for this. I felt like that really helped me. You know, it was hard for me to have discipline with spending my money. Just putting it in a different bank account where I can't see it. Now it's Christmas time and the money for gifts, it's already set. I'm not worried. I'm not taking from the things that I have right now, like from my regular checking. It feels so good to save. I'm learning a lot about finances because this year I was blessed enough to have a career where it's something that I love, I'm passionate about, something I've worked on for years. I'm gonna be honest, at the beginning, I did have imposter syndrome where it's like, why am I getting this? What qualifications do I have? What, you know, it kind of goes with the self-esteem of like, do I deserve this? But I forgot how many nights I stayed up editing while I had an exam the next morning because this was my passion. So many things that I forget about, and that imposter syndrome of like, I don't deserve this. I kept having those thoughts, but I've been working on it where now it's like, this is what God had for me. This was his plan. All these years he said, oh, I have something for you. This is it. This is part of the plan. If he has something bigger for me, back to mental, emotional, knowing who you are, knowing that you deserve this money that you have, knowing that even if you don't have that right now, that you can practice those money management now so that when you have those finances, you know how to manage, you know how to give. So the 3 things I'll say: save, invest, and give. This is how I think of it. If your hands are tight and you're holding on to your money, how are you gonna, but if you open it and the money is like, you're not really holding on tight. It almost like God blesses you with more. But don't give having the mindset of, oh, I'll get more. Give because it's from just truly that you know that someone else needs it. You know that this will benefit others. Just learn money management as I'm doing, okay? We're doing this together, and in a couple months I can't wait to even learn more. And if you do have some tips for me for like financial, like, you know, I know some people do budgeting, some people do other things, but if you do have other, you know, tips for financial money management, let me know. Next, I think it's the most important, I'll say, is spiritual. And basically spiritual means your mind, body, and soul kind of connects. So like when I pray, I feel that connecting something deeper, which is Christ that lives in me. So when I pray, it's like my mind, body, soul kind of connects, speaks to God. It's like kind of like a pause. Have a set of beliefs that you live by. If you don't stand on something, you'll fall for anything. Like I've always had that in the back of my head. The first time I heard it was middle school, but I've always had that in the back of my head. So the times where you're just not sure, if you don't have like a solid rock that you could go back to, your belief system, that you could just look back and just be like, is this right? Also, don't force your belief on others. And I know that, you know, us as Christians, we're disciples, we're fishers of men, we're supposed to go out, tell others about God, but you don't always have to say it by arguing. Also, show God, like show how Christ is. I want my actions to be, you know, glorifying God the way I live. The highest praise is how you live. I really live by that, where someone's like, where do you get this joy from? What is it about you? And then once they do that, you bring up a conversation starter. You know, you did this for me and this is why I do this. And it's just a starter. The way you live your life screams more than what you say out loud. So balance your spiritual life, your spiritual wellness. Next is career. What do you really want to do? You know what you want to do. Whatever that passion is, work on it. If it's a job you don't like right now, work on that passion to work towards the career of your dreams. Even if you are working your career, whether it's YouTube, whether it's starting social media, whether it's a business, entrepreneurship, whatever you have, work on it. Even if you have like a job right now where, you know, it's just to pay the bills. I remember going to college and just wanting social media to be my full-time job. And I was like, I have to go all in if I want this to work out. I have to go for it. In college, I had a job at the ticket office, especially my last year. That's when I really went full in and I was like, I want this to be my full-time job and I'm gonna make this work out in Jesus' name. All God says was give me 50%. All he wants me is to work that 50 and he'll meet me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go all in. I knew my last semester of college, I did not want to do physical therapy. I majored in exercise science, wanting to go to become a physical therapist. That's what I went to school for. I did not change my major at all. So since freshman year, I was on physical therapy. I was like, I am passionate about this. During my last semester, that passion kind of just floated away. And I'm saying truly, because I had an interview with one of my professors. He was a physical therapist. I was like, could we just have a Zoom call? I recorded the whole thing. Let me tell you, that call helped me out so much. And he was like, yeah, it's normal to be burnt out, but not your passion to leave. He's like, if you're not in fully with physical therapy, he's like, I encourage you to not do it at all. It is more work, especially when you go to physical therapy school. There's a lot more. Like, are you fully in? And I just really right there when he asked it in my head, I was like, I'm not in. I'm not fully in. I don't think I want to do this. And I did not feel it until my last semester. So it's okay for things to change, for your career to change. If you're in college right now and you're majoring in something and you want to change it, really think about that. Is this the career that will make you happy? You're getting money, but also beyond that, you're going every day to work, not dreading it. You're going every day to work saying, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, this is what I'm passionate about. It's so important to ask that question because this is our life. You can pick your life. It's one thing that was so important to me is pray about it. God put that passion in you because he has somewhere for you to go. He will never put that passion in you if he didn't want it to thrive. The only person that's stopping it is you. So go all in. Whatever you're at right now, go all in. And you know, I come from an immigrant household. I came from Ethiopia when I was 7. So me and my family, we both came here. I saw the hardship that my parents had to deal with. Learning a new language. My parents had to learn and I saw their struggle. So me thinking, I really had that pressure when I went to college to like, okay, they want me to become a doctor, pilot, something, engineer, lawyer, and I have to, you know, I have to fulfill their American dream. I know a lot of people in immigrant households, we do have that pressure. My parents did not agree with this when I first told them, yeah, social media is what I want to do. They're like, okay, but focus on your schoolwork. I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely getting my degree. I'm not gonna drop out to do this. But once they saw me do the action, and then when they really saw that, obviously it's like, you know, for anyone else, you know, when the money started rolling, I'm gonna be honest, you got a brand deal to use a shampoo you already use. This can be a thing, and I feel like it's hard for them. I really see it on their side. They never saw this. So I saw more opportunities that I can take, and I'm like, I know that this will help me and my family. God gave me a vision when I was young. If you really work hard towards this, you can help your family. Whatever you have, especially if you're in an immigrant household, I hope that whatever passion you have, if you have a vision for it, strive for that. Work on it, even if you have something else, even if you're in college, even if you have another job, even if you have like a 9-to-5 right now where you don't really want to, you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to work for yourself, you can do it. You just have to be disciplined. In whatever career you want, stay disciplined. Motivation will not get you anywhere. Be a hardworking person. It will pay off. The last thing I'll say is social and cultural. This is, I can say, the weakest of the columns for me, and I've talked about that a bunch of times. I'm an introvert, but being social takes us so much further. Talking to others, being open to other cultures. With the culture part, I love it. I love learning new cultures. I want to learn at least one song from each country. I just love my continent. I'm so glad I'm from Africa.
I will rep it.
I've been wanting to try different, you know, places. I've been to Poland. I've tried their food, been trying different things. I actually tried pho for the first time. I know I'm a little bit late. So when people talk about their culture, I am attentive. I'm like, okay, teach me more. I just love to see other people's culture, their music, their food. That part is good. It's just me like going out of my way to talk to somebody. But let me say one thing, I'm working on it. I'm not gonna say I'm an introvert and let that be an excuse. I'm not gonna do that because I'm gonna grow. So are we. So if you're an introvert, don't let that stop you. I've really been making myself uncomfortable, going out of my way, talking to others, putting my phone down, uncrossing my arms when I'm like in a function. Eye contact. That's one thing that's been so hard for me since I was younger. Another thing I'll ask, it's like, what's the worst that can happen with you going out of your way, getting to know someone? You either get a friend or you just talk to them for a couple seconds. Every conversation we have is so important. We're humans. Connection is such an important thing. Water your relationships, your friendships, your relationship with your family, also acquaintances. Every relationship, people you have in your life, water it, be intentional. Be careful with who your circle is. I'm gonna keep saying this, but you don't need to have like a bunch of friends to be fulfilled. If you have a couple friends and you feel fulfilled, that's a win-win. I'll finish off by saying, be open, enjoy this life, balance your life, and all these 7 things. So I hope this helped you and gave you a perspective on like how to help you. This could be a journal prompt. You could literally write physical, social, mental, everything I talked about, and just kind of put it in columns. Really check up on your mental health, where you're at in all these categories.